All right, call the meeting to order for the 24th of June, 2013. Like to have Mr. Garso brought in.
Make a motion to add non-passo for.
Okay. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye, thank you. Public participation. Does anyone wish to? Guess not. Moving right on. Approval of minutes, May 28th Board of Finance meeting. A vote is required.
Motion to approve as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any additions or deletions? No? Make a motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, correspondence. We have, this is not a reporting month because the Board of Ed, nor for general government. We have number 5, the Finance Director report.
It's not a reporting month. But
Well, you're on here. You're on here, folks.
Yes,
Say something.
Denise said she was gonna give me a spot every month in case I have something to say. As we all know, we've been looking into software, and there was about $3,500 allotted in the budget, and that's not nearly enough. I have just 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 different contacts. One of them is Harris, which is our current DOS-based system provider. Long story short, the best one I have found is AccuFund. It's also the most economical. And over 6 years, it would be $75,000.
How much?
$75,000 over the next 6 years, as compared to another one which is $132,309 over the next 6 years. And basically, well, we'll call it $75,000. That does not include implementation, which is another $15,000 to $20,000. So that's where we're at. AccuFund would be willing to come and do the presentation. And again, we don't have that kind of money in the budget, so we're kind of on last legs with the current
Too
system.
bad we didn't know that earlier.
The situation that we are running into, I had to get a new printer because my other one died, and it took over 3 weeks for Harris plus Savage Systems to get my printer to even work and print reports out of the system. And one of the things with general ledger entries, which is well, it's all crucial, but if I can't print a general ledger entry, then I can't post it, and that's a real problem. New software would also give us the opportunity to have an accounts receivable, so we could have grants receivable loaded into there. We also do invoicing to the town for things like patio leases, the stickers, where all this is manual and it leaves a lot of room for error. And also we talked about the new purchasing order, the policy that's been put in place. The system would also use purchase orders. It has a budget module, and again, they would be willing to come in and present it. And
This is all from one company.
yeah, I mean, they all would come in, but just quite frankly, I actually sat down and talked with AccuFund first, and I was rather impressed. I have used several software packages. I've been involved with implementation probably 4 or 5 times, switching from one system to another. And I was impressed with them, but I still looked anyway. We even tried to piggyback with the Board of Education through Tyler, but Tyler wants another $75,000 just for the software alone. And then there's support every year, which I know the Board of Ed pays, I think, $13,000 a year for that. AccuFund also has the ability to take on the WPCA. Like right now, they have 2 different software programs. They have Pussy and they have Fundware. And this particular software has the ability to take the meter reading, data and put it into the system. They would use the same system as what we would use. And AccuFund could give us 15 different companies, so like the Special Services District could still be their own, WPCA could be their own, we could all have the same software.
So would that mean we could cut down on a body or a half a body?
Certainly not right away, because whenever you implement new software.
Okay, I'm just saying, I'm just looking out.
I'm actually looking to streamline processes. Actually, right now, cash flow in this building is a lot more frequent, smoother. It's happening on a daily basis, where it was not happening on a daily basis in a few of the departments. So that in itself helps, but it also, on one hand, creates a little bit more work, but cash should flow daily. It should get into the bank daily. And
No argument to me.
we are looking to be more proactive and review transactions on a daily basis instead of going later on and looking for, everything I've touched, nothing balanced, nothing. So it's been, plus playing catch up for 4 months, and I think it's been on vacation.
So talking about that, where do you stand in terms of being up to date? How far behind it?
I think in 3 to 4 more weeks, we should be pretty good, unless something pops up again that I don't know about. Another thing, historically here, there's certain things that were only done at this time of year instead of waiting to book transactions as they occur. I would rather do things as they happen and not wait until the end of the year. It's a busy enough time of year as it is. I've already opened next year's, next fiscal year on the system, the current system. I've already loaded the budget in, so that's all done. I also have discovered, the chart of accounts was not maintained, probably ever. There's a ton of accounts in there that.
Well, how do you get the line item then? If they haven't been maintained. Should we jiggling them around to get the, put them in the wrong ones?
Historically, part of the budget was loaded into the system and part was not. I loaded everything that was approved in the budget. So, and then cleaning up the chart of accounts, all the stuff that's inactive, because I got over 900 pages. There's accounts that haven't been used in 7 or 8 years. By inactivating them, we can run a report out of the
It's
system.
still active? Where's the line?
Yes,
Normally, it's very easy to deactivate.
it's time consuming.
No, but I mean.
Yeah, well, you have to, do some stuff for us. But, you can use this system to produce budget versus actuals, and a real report out of the system, not something that's a ran report and then typed it all into Excel, which allows room for error. So I would like to start using the system to the best of its ability, even though it is antiquated. And so, I can show you at the next meeting what our report would look like, system generated, then you'll know what's actually really booked. So,
How old is the system you're using now?
it is a 20-year-old system, though I think the town has had it for, I know more than 10. It's,
Were there upgrades all along, or are we like
it's a
really
DOS-based
way back?
system. It's just really old. No accountant in this world would not want a system that can't put data into Excel. Anything that comes out of there, it has to be manually,
You go through an extra process just to get something done.
and sometimes a lot of the process. So,
As far as the new, one you were talking about, wouldn't it be cool to get it down here due to the cost of money involved with the $74 grand? So that,
yeah, well, that would be 74 over 6, that's a 6-year total.
6-year total, what, 75,000?
But that doesn't include implementation, which could be anywhere between 15 and 20,000, which is not unreasonable. I can get you details on all these programs.
Does that include any upgrades as they go along, or?
In the first year, yes, includes support. And those other figures include support, for the year. It also also have a grants management module, and we have tons of grants from Lincoln, so I think that would be really helpful for reporting.
It would be helpful then if you could draft something up and put it in, to give us an idea of what each company is and what the price is
Mhm.
and what they do, and so on, so we can take a look
I'm
at it.
actually sorry on it, but.
And I can tell you, over a 6-year, if they're saying it's 75,000 over a 6-year period, you're really still behind the 8 ball with all of that, because every system, if you don't upgrade at least every 2 years, you're
Mhm.
antiquated.
You
So,
think?
yeah, so, I mean, every 6 months at these days, but, so
Well,
we
there's-
just have to make sure we're
Yeah.
aware of, and figure in that,
Mhm.
you know, for upgrades, cause we don't wanna purchase a system and then have you still
I totally
using
get
something
that.
that's antiquated.
Because their cost is, like, we'll round it up, $12,500 per year.
Yeah.
And that includes their, I understand, upgrades and, support. Now, we're already paying Harris $9,200 a year, and we're paying, Kuzi, and we're paying Fundware. So
I mean, wouldn't this be a little easier if you, because I've never heard of whoever Kuzi is?
I never did
Is that
either.
a mattress or what? Put it in some type of.
Yep, this is basically
Written-
just the
written-
heads up
written
of,
form,
you know,
because
this is what we're
I
looking
am
at,
not
not
following
$3,500.
this very well.
Did you say we are now paying for Funware? We are?
You pay for Fundware, WPCA pays Kuzi and Fundware.
And it too.
Support, and then we pay
Software.
Harris
Yeah.
$9,200
Well,
a year.
obviously, if we went Funware for everybody,
Right, you could take those,
And
what we
we-
pay Harris,
yeah.
and the other thing with AccuFund too, it's what they call cloud-based,
Right.
which means, all right, so you know,
Yeah.
the current system is server-based, so every 4 to 5 years you have to replace the server. As you get more and more data in there, we need more data space, now you need a bigger server, so there's other hidden costs.
Everything is going cloud,
Yes.
basically,
Yep.
as we're going forward.
Yep.
I mean, that's.
It's
we
secure,
get it.
it's backed up, you know.
He's
so-
looking at me. And he's smiling.
So that's my story.
So we got how much in the budget?
$3,500.
A little short.
Yeah.
But do we have anything
But-
in there, do we have the 9,200 for,
Yes, because we pay that every year, so, I mean, you can factor that in, and then you can factor in,
Well, how old are the systems that the WPCA are using and the other?
a few years.
So they're not ready to upgrade to a
But
new
they-
system yet?
They're not ready, but they could.
Right.
I mean, we could certainly do it in stages. If we are fortunate enough to get a new system, I would like to see one by January 1 to bring payroll on at the beginning of the year, because when you try to do that in the middle of the year, it's just a nightmare for everybody involved. And I'm also not looking to bring old data and or garbage into the system. I wanna start with good, clean numbers and move forward.
What do you got in capital non-recurring?
I'm sorry?
What do you got in capital non-recurring?
I don't have that with me, so I'm sorry, I don't know.
But you can see if we have
Mhm.
any,
Mhm.
funded.
So I'll have that for the next meeting, how's that?
No, but it's a good idea, I mean, 'cause Paula was telling me, you know, she had a lot of problems, she'd do this
Yeah.
in order to do that, and it was like
Sometimes
doing
it's
extra,
crazy,
too
yeah.
many extra steps where it's really, I mean, where we are now, technology-wise, like Sue said, I mean, it's like companies are changing yearly
Mhm,
now,
mhm.
and the cloud is really the way to go right now.
I mean, if you wanted to, I could get AccuFund in here with no commitment, just to do a presentation,
That'd be
as I
great.
give you the other information, and then, you know, just not, again, commit anything to them, and just take that with you, and, plus I'll have all the data on all the other companies.
One of the questions perhaps that I have, no problem going out and buying whatever you think you need, but is WPCA going to be in the process of doing this with us? Because, you know, it's considerable, I mean, let's not go.
well, we are now to some
Well,
extent,
yeah,
I think we would be.
but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Saying, why do this, and then 5 years from now, WPCA says, we want to get on board in, or 2 years, or whatever it is, says we want to get on board, and someone from whoever these people that you're naming are, says, well, to hook them on, it would have been easier then, it's
Oh,
difficult
sure.
now,
A-
or what have
actually,
you. But
um,
I would like to see something about it from someone who does it. You know, right now, we're collecting the taxes for the town to begin with. I
Mhm.
assume that's another ledger.
And that's another system.
Well, but all these, you know, I appreciate that, but all these systems, whether it be WPCA and the way the charter, way everything's written, everybody has this standalone theory of life, and that's coming to its own conclusion. You know, if we're going to use the department downstairs to collect the water,
Mhm.
the WPCA stuff and whatever's associated with that, if we're going to collect the taxes for the town, I mean, I live in the, you know, what have you,
Mhm.
and whatever else may come aboard in addition to the municipal taxes that we're paying, and what have you. I mean, everybody should be on, at least nodding their heads in agreement that it's probably not a bad idea, and that everybody that's paying this should look for a slice of the action or something, or a system that works best for everybody, not just works best for one person and everybody else tries to get on board to do it. I mean.
Well, you would assume if they brought in a new system, it'd be compatible.
Well, but. No, I mean,
No,
you
no,
know,
no,
I don't know anything about this stuff, so I don't assume anything.
Right.
I'll bring
I-
it up at the next meeting.
And I have to, I don't know, I mean, I don't know why you're separating, and I don't understand. I can understand what you're saying about WPCA, but not about us collecting taxes, because isn't that under,
Taxes, they
Anywhere?
have their own, another different system that they use. Because in the town clerk, they have a different system. You know, there are so many systems in this building, it's
Well-
amazing. Just doing this, I am looking for, you know, uniformity as best as possible. Because we're a municipality and have so many specialized areas, we can't, at this point, I don't think, without spending, you know, 6 figures,
Well,
get everybody on one system. What this has the capability of doing, because we can have 15 different databases, is like 15 different companies. So, the Special Services District right now uses Main Street, as do we. And so, that would be like, say, 2 databases or 2 companies. The grants management piece with the economic development and all these projects, they can come on board and manage their grants through the system. It's got a lot of report writing capabilities, and part of the support would be to create reports of data that you want to see and that data that you can use.
what's Doug think of the whole thing?
Well, I think Doug has been holding on for a long time,
Yeah,
waiting for
yeah.
a new treasurer
I
to
mean,
come on board to make this much process easier.
He's suggesting that all these things go in the same.
Correction.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you know, the
easier
other
for
thing too
Sandy.
is it makes sense because right now you have 3 people in this building doing payroll. You have 3 people in this building doing accounts payable. And part of it is WPCA, which they need to stand apart. But if something happens and somebody gets hit by a bus, by having one system that people are familiar with, somebody could step in and so people can still get paid, or vendors can still get paid, you know, or we can still receive money into the system and
Well, we pray that nobody gets hit.
yes, we do.
Just, when we are getting quotes, make sure we're getting quotes for, like, migrating all the old stuff.
We
What
don't
are you
wanna,
gonna do with all the
we don't
old
wanna
stuff?
bring old stuff.
No, but what are you gonna do with all of that? Cause the cost of keeping those servers up and running that have that old information on there can be quite costly too, so we have to, you know, if you're, with all these old systems, you have to decide how you're gonna store all that old information, because I don't know how far back an audit can go, but you know, you can't just shut the server down,
No,
obviously.
and historically, again, I've worked with other companies and we've done data conversions. There's a long period of time where you still have, I mean, the server's already here. We're already, you know, there's already stuff on it. So, and it's backed up by Savage nightly. So, you know, and Savage will still be involved, they're still gonna be our IT people.
But at
We'll
some
still have
point-
access to that data.
Right, but at some point, old servers get costly to maintain.
At some point they do, but, so, I mean, we have to make
Right.
that decision of move forward or just
Right.
wait till
You know, we gotta do something
we're
consistent.
really in a
Oh,
bad
yeah.
situation, so.
Okay. Unfinished business, water treatment.
We're still on target to finish by the end of the year. All they're doing now is just the punch list. I think they have one more construction meeting coming up, and that'll be it. They pretty much will be taking all their equipment off the site.
Good. Anybody have any questions as to
That's
Mr.
good to
Garza?
know.
Technology park update.
I can give you a little bit, I talked to Doug a little bit today. Doug's going into Hartford on Friday to meet with some state officials. We're talking about access to the iPark on Friday. So we're much closer. He's been told by the officials in Hartford at this point that nobody has been denied access or an access road. So we feel very comfortable in moving that forward. I think over the next couple of weeks, a lot more decisions will be made in regards to the park and OPM, and so we're very close with having, I think, some very good information come forward.
What's the timeline? Can you give any indication from Doug in terms of what's the timeline?
Yeah, the next few weeks, we should have a lot of decisions come forward. Yep. Yep, we're pretty much on schedule, Peter, as far as that goes.
Within next month.
Yep, within the next month.
So hopefully by next month,
We should have a lot of answers for you.
Some of the
We should be able
answers
to
as
provide
to-
a lot more information.
when we're going to overland or whatever, and all that other stuff.
Yeah, all those details are being wrapped up, and we should have a very interesting meeting next meeting.
You think so, what?
I do. I think it'll be a lot of information will come.
But I think if that's going to happen, and I hope it does, and it's going to be lengthy and questions and what have you, you know, maybe some of this other parts of this meeting should be, this will also be a reporting month next month too, I think. Maybe some of that should be bifurcated in some fashion, so people can say whatever it is they think
Yeah.
they're saying. People should be able to present whatever they want to present, and, you know, people, you know, what's the Red Sox game?
Certainly, I think, Joe, as information becomes available to us, we'll pass it along to you right
Yeah.
away. It won't be held back by any means. I think it's important they have as much information as we can give you.
That's all I'm saying is that, you know, sometimes that stuff, everything else can get bogged down.
Oh, yeah.
Because
And-
without
and
that,
you don't, and you don't know by looking at this information, you know, on Saturday when it comes in the mail, or Friday when it comes in the mail, what's on for Monday, and you never really have a chance to, you can read it, but doesn't mean you necessarily understand it. And, you know, it's like a lot of this stuff you gotta think about.
I know the Y, for example, Greater Hartford Y has come up for more money.
Yeah, I saw that.
You probably saw that, so I think, you know, they're ready to move forward. Details to agreements, a lot of the agreements that we've been working on for months are very close to being completed. Like I said, next month will be an interesting month. There'll be a lot of information that will come forward that will give us a lot of the answers to the questions that we've had for a long time.
We hope. All right, new business. Alpha, consideration and approval of the land sale resolution parcel A in the Putnam Industrial Park.
I have maps here for you to share.
Oh, no wonder we didn't have that.
The area that we're focusing on is the one that's highlighted. Right here. The two lots labeled lot 30 That's actually Foster Corporation, that's at the end of Ridge Road, if you can envision that. The highlighted area is approximately 0.26 acres, and that has a utility easement. The town will always maintain that utility easement in perpetuity. There is a company, Rental Tool, from Eastford, and they are bringing 30 employees, and they're building a 17,262 square foot building. They do small medical implementations with plastics industries and small.
Rental who?
Rental Tool, Renchel, and the owner is Ron Williams. He is offering, we had come up with a price, the Economic Development Commission, of $9,000 for that piece of property. The way that we came up with that was the last appraisal for vacant lots in the industrial park are anywhere from $34,000 to $38,000. So that's the high end.
Is this on Ridge Road?
Yes, it is the very end of
Very
Ridge
end,
Road
like a little
before
strip.
the cul-de-sac. If you look at the locus up here in the corner, that's that's Park Street. That's Ridge Road right here. And this is the part that we're talking about right there.
Top of the hill.
Yep, if you look left, the water tower is
I was
there.
gonna ask you that.
Exactly.
Water tower's right next to it.
Right, we got permission from, they voted at their meeting for the WPCA to approve this because I was concerned with water pipes that may be going to the water tank. Would that infringe? And it wouldn't, so,
There's also there's a water right away that goes into the property beyond that 50 and over. Where we're gonna build those homes.
oh, yes.
It's up in that area.
Yep.
too.
So, this area was originally, from historical perspective that I can look back on, was pretty much a spite easement, so that Mr. Reset would have to develop his property in order to gain access to that. However, I think it's pretty important to bring jobs like small manufacturing companies. So I have asked both our attorney and Mr. Williams' attorney that if we do sell this property to him, that they have to abide by the covenants within the industrial park, so that we can have the type of businesses, the look of the businesses that fit into that, and they are willing to do that.
And that's 30 jobs.
Correct. And their goal is to increase that to 50 within the next 5 years.
On a quarter acre.
No, that is only to gain access to the Reset's property, and he is purchasing 3 acres from them. Economic Development Commission has approved it, WPCA has approved it, and I was just at the planning meeting and they have made their recommendation as positive.
This needs to go to the town meeting, right?
Yes. And there is a resolution also drafted for it.
When's that? Peter, do you know when the town meeting would be?
Probably be our next meeting.
Okay, we need a vote on it, folks.
Make a motion to approve purchase of rental or sale of rental 2.62 acres as noted.
Second.
Point what, 2.6?
2.6.
2.6.
Yeah, 2.6, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
1.62.
0.26 acres.
Right, quarter of an acre. Sure.
You want that?
Second. Anyone mad?
Second.
Go.
Thank you.
Discussion? Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Is the water and surge that's going to get, is Reset still in Connecticut, is in Putnam, that piece of it?
Yes,
It is?
yes.
Okay.
He actually has one lot that we are still trying to determine whether it was free split or he has to subdivide.
But the water and surge, I mean, I suppose really the question that I had,
That will come
when
off
they come
Ridge Road.
across and it cuts across and what have you, that's still in Putnam itself?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, the next matter is the discussion of possible action. I don't know what the possible action would be.
Our question is, why is this being brought to Board of Finance since we've already approved it, and it's going to a town meeting and been approved. So what's the rationale for it to come back to us to discuss it one more time?
I have no idea.
I do.
You do.
If I may.
Sure.
Doug asked me to put this on the agenda, just to make sure that everybody was aware and remembered what we had planned on expending out of the Ash National account. I just wanted everybody reminded, see if any new discussion has to be had.
I think the discussion is in regards to any possible interest you may want to charge. I think that's why Doug put it
The
in there.
interest is set.
It's set, we did that
The
at the
interest
town
is
meeting.
set, yes, so this was just.
He had mentioned that to me as well.
Coming
said
up
that.
on where we're gonna start spending some of these funds.
But I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
you're
not,
right, it was voted at town meeting.
Yeah.
We already,
I mean, other than approving it, it's not like this board is going to be the overseer of the road reconstruction. I know it's an interest number that the middle school road is more than for the entire town of Putnam. But, you know,
I think the reason really he wanted to know is, he wanted to let us know that he's gonna start spending money. And that's really the purpose of it.
Thank you.
but, you know, certainly be interested in seeing what some of those bids look like though, for some of that stuff. You know, it's a lot.
Like the 376,000,
Yeah.
367 for the,
I mean, I thought we were just doing a road. I didn't know that we were doing.
oh, the whole thing. That's,
Well, you know, that's gonna go out to bid, maybe we'll come in lower.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Should be some money coming back towards the computer stuff from the cameras.
Did you know?
Those came in a lot more.
Yeah, there you go.
When's it coming back? Ever?
I think our fiscal year ends the end of June, I don't know.
We have $1 coming back.
Well, you know, I mean, how much did we put up for it? I mean, that's the long and the short. The budget is whatever it is for that. What?
General government pays for cameras.
What?
General government.
General government pays.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So we get it.
So
You
you
paid,
pay-
you never
you
paid,
get the money.
you never paid for them, we paid for them.
Do you want us to vote? I mean, there's no vote on this.
There's no vote. I think he just wanted Joe. he
Okay.
Just
wanted-
informational
All right.
purposes,
Yeah,
that's all.
if there's anything you wanted to say, do, you know.
Oh. Well, what's been said, it's been voted on. Can't change it now. Even if you wanted to, C on the new business is the agenda items for the Board of Finance meeting held June 24th. To consider upon resolution entitled, Resolution Appropriating $2,900,000, $90,000 for the town drinking water system improvements 2013 and authorizing the issue of $2,090,000 bonds of the town to meet said appropriations pending the issuance thereof, the making of temporary borrowing for such purpose. Resolution appropriating $4 million for the sewer system improvements 2013 and authorizing the issuance of $4 million in bonds of the town to meet said appropriations and pending the issuance thereof, the making of temporary borrowings for such purpose. And
They each have to be somehow separately.
and they each have to be broke, yeah.
The first $2,090,000 is for the designing and building of a manganese treatment building, which includes the installation of injection pumps, filter meters, storage tanks, and transfer pumps and associated electrical facilities. This is to treat manganese that's of the water that's in our well system. This is all, the $2,090 is already been built into our rates, as I understand.
Okay, so that was my question.
Yeah.
Is, this is temporary borrowing then?
Yeah.
On the top?
There's
Yeah,
bond
temp-
and temporary.
Bond.
It's temporary borrowing.
Both.
Is this gonna be a separate bonding on this one here?
I understand it's gonna be a combination like some of the other projects that have gone before, where there are bonds and there will be temporary borrowing.
Yeah,
Right.
temporary
And
borrowing.
then that's what
It's
we'll-
temporary borrow. Because ultimately is what you're saying and I'm saying is that the rates that were increased over the last couple of years will fund this.
Yes.
entire
Yes.
project.
Yes,
That's
yes.
my
It
understanding
goes
as
into
well.
rate.
Yeah. The second item of $4 million is for the,
So the money you'll get from that too.
Yeah.
Will be from the fund.
right,
Mhm.
from the fund,
How much do we have in the fund right now, that we have put away in terms of what the, people in the special service district has paid? For the,
that I'd have to ask in our next meeting.
You see what where I'm going with this?
I'd have to, that I don't have an answer. I mean, how
So
much
what's
is
the
it?
mill impact?
There is no.
There is
So
no-
there would be,
There is no-
because it's temporary.
Yeah,
Well, it's
So
covered by the
it-
WPCA.
it's WPCA.
W,
yes,
The
WPCA,
fees
it's
are
almost.
right.
And they've been charging back. They've raised them several times already. I think you
Yes,
have
they
one
have.
more rate.
I think, aren't you done? With your increases?
It might be this
Yeah.
last bill we just got might have been the
Because-
last
Yeah,
one.
it might have
They
been the
did-
last one,
Well,
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm just-
I don't know what all went into those
Well, there was
fees,
like 3 or
do
4
they have some
increases.
left over?
There were 4 increases.
There were 4 increases.
And were they all covered, were there all different reasons, were any of them for this?
Well, we
or-
projected that we were gonna be needing to do some of these things, okay? Just like.
So there
the-
should be some money sitting
There
there.
should be.
There's
some
money sitting there, that was the question I had.
Yeah.
The $4 million, the $4 million is a little bit different, that's for the, upgrading of all the pumping stations. Problem we've had with the pump stations is that the motors, the pumps keep breaking down, we keep having to pull them out, keep having to have them repaired. We've had issues at the Peak Brook pump station where water overflowed along with other things, and the state was not happy over that. And we've been working with Woodstock to kind of alleviate some of that problem. But this would involve upgrading all of the pump stations, including new pumps, piping, demolishing and installing new electrical equipment, and restoring existing structural components, and the purchase of new sewer truck to properly maintain the 10 pumping stations. We have 10 pumping
Hello?
stations.
Well, I got another question.
Yep. And $1 million of that, $1.30 million of that is gonna be a federal grant. So really,
Okay.
when you come right down to it, it's
Are
gonna
we
be
done with
just
the first one?
$3 million.
Can I go on to the next?
Go anywhere you want.
We have to vote.
We have to vote
Yeah,
on it.
well,
Well, I think this one pertains to both though, because on one, there's no, page numbers on this, but go to section 9.
Section 9,
Section 9,
okay. Gotcha.
where it states, the Board of Selectmen and the WPCA are authorized to enter into an agreement pursuant to which the WPCA shall pay the water revenue, blah, blah, blah. Then if you go to the other, section 9 of the other one, this is what it says. The Board of Selectmen and WPCA are authorized to enter in an agreement pursuant to which the WPCA shall pay from the sewer revenue all or an agreed portion of the annual debt service costs on the bond. Why is it all or an agreed portion? I'm lost on that.
I
See where
have,
I'm coming with, Bob?
Hmm?
See where I'm coming from?
Bit different. What you're saying is the wording is different.
Yeah, but what concerns me is all or an agreed portion.
They
Or
both
an
say
agreed
all
portion?
agreed.
well, I mean, we don't have, who's your attorney down there, Bob?
I don't know who wrote this.
Joe Fozzie.
What?
Joe Fozzie, our bond counsel.
Who's got, I'm sorry. I
Joe
can't hear you.
Fozzie,
FASI.
FASI, he's our bond counsel.
So the question
I
would be,
mean,
is there, has
yeah,
something been
yeah.
agreed on that isn't all?
Right,
Is this the one on the $4 million?
yes.
It's on
Yes.
both of them, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Just on this
See,
one.
I'm just
Yeah.
throwing this out. On the $4 million, we got grant money. Okay? On the other one, we don't
We
have.
don't
grant
know,
money.
that's why it's not
I
there.
think that's why it's
Well,
there.
I mean,
One has grant money included, the other one doesn't.
are you comfortable with that, Peter?
Well, it was a question I had.
We're either voting on it or not.
Well, I wanted to know whether or not we had, whether, I was uncomfortable with the terminology of all or an agreed portion. I mean, somebody should have been here to answer these questions because it has legal ramifications of which we're probably not astute enough to answer. Because that's
Well-
not our forte.
I mean, we're still going to be down to the question of either we're going to vote for it or we're not going to vote for it, you know.
So
How
you're
would
saying
you
the other
like-
one,
how would you
4
like to
million
remedy
has
that?
the bond.
Yeah,
There's some
the
bond
4
money.
million, the 4 million has $1 million grant included in there. And that's the only reason, that's the only difference that I can see between both of them.
The only thing about that, Peter?
Well, I know, I'm reading through both of these, and it appears to me that they're both.
They're exactly the same,
Yeah.
am I
Except
the
for
only one
that.
seeing that?
Yeah, that's what I
Except for
keep
that.
saying, but
Mine is
mine
different.
is the same.
Mine is the same.
Mine is different.
I've got well, either I've
Mine
got
is the
two,
same.
section
Yours is
9.
the same.
Yeah.
It is the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is two
The
sections.
It is the same.
The
on
same
mine.
thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I got a
I mean,
problem.
the only thing is it does say,
Oh, you're right, they both say the same thing.
well, in
actually.
Yeah.
one it does say chapter 102 of the general statutes, whereas the other one does say, section 7-268 to receive. So, I mean, I guess there is a difference between the two, but in that section,
There is.
they say exactly the same thing.
Is this the possibility, of this taken into consideration if we were to default? Because if you look and continue to read, it says that the town may establish by ordinance a special fund pursuant to section 7-268 to receive, hold, invest, and make payment from such fund pursuant to the agreement authorized by this section. That's the only other thing I could think. I mean, let's face it, I mean, you're giving us permission to go ahead and bond this, and everybody understands that if we default on all of this, it goes, the town ends up paying the bill.
Right.
When do you need this?
Well, it's gotta go to a referendum, it's supposed to go to a referendum sometime in August, as I understand it.
And I think that the clock is ticking on this,
Yes,
as
the
it is
town,
now.
Yeah.
the town meeting needs to be scheduled July 15th.
Right.
They'll schedule it, it will be adjourned to referendum on August 20th is the referendum, there's a special town meeting on August 6th, is the way it's laid out. Right
So-
now.
Can we, is it appropriate to accept it?
Contingent?
Pending, clarification of number 9?
9, and I had
But-
another
but-
question. Okay.
But to do that,
Yes.
you're going to have to bring, I mean, there's no definition of what that clarification would be. I have no idea if your clarification.
that's what I mean.
My clarification for anybody else's is the same, so you'd have to come back.
Again, meaning, yeah. What do you say, Peter?
I had another question on section 4.
4?
Yes.
The first section.
The first
Four
one or the
or the
second?
second section?
Might be on both. I got it on the first one.
Section 4?
Section 4, the issue of the bonds, aforesaid, and all of the other bonds or notes of the town heretofore authorized but not yet issued as of the effective date of this resolution would not cause the indebtedness of the town to exceed any debt limit calculated in accordance with the law, the principal and interest of the proposed blah, blah, blah. Does this include the school?
You know, there's nobody in
There's
this.
nobody here to answer questions.
There's nobody
I
here
think-
that's an attorney, and there's nobody here that wrote this thing or even really understands what the legalese or what's required, what isn't required to do this. I mean, we can ask questions across the table, and what do you think, what do I think, what does somebody else think? Doesn't
That
make
question
any
was brought up-
difference.
That question was brought up at the Board of Selectmen's meeting. I remember Barney brought it up and he says, is this going to exceed our,
And it did not.
it did not exceed our bonding limits?
Yes.
Did
It
you
did not.
include the school?
Yes.
Yes, school was included.
And it did not.
It did not.
That was one of the questions.
That was one of the questions that was asked.
Yeah.
we're trying to schedule a special board of selectmen meeting on Thursday at 6, at which Doug would be present, so he may have an opportunity to go back to Joe Bob and get some clarification.
Okay.
If you wanted to
I
schedule.
would like, I'd like,
You know,
okay,
and
you say
schedule
floor
like
is
a
already taken, I'd like to have another, make sure that it's taken care of, and certainly on section 9.
Can we schedule another meeting for after the board of selectmen?
That's what I'm thinking, once the board of selectmen ask the question, we can,
That's Thursday.
it's Thursday,
Thursday next week?
This
This
week.
week.
This week?
27.
Building committee.
I don't know, how you
That
doing?
is the building committee.
Then the question that I have,
There's still time to.
I understand that, but the question becomes, do we have enough time to post these things?
Yes,
That's the question.
yes.
The only thing you're gonna run into other meetings that night.
It's the biggest one is the high school building
Yeah.
committee.
All right, so what night would we have the meeting?
Doug is still pushing for Thursday.
Well,
We can do that.
We're hoping for Thursday at 6 o'clock.
Oh, you can meet at
that
6?
is-
Oh,
Maybe
that's
at
even
6
better. You
I
can meet
think
at
the
7?
building committee starts at 6:30.
6:30. Yeah.
What?
are they meeting with the Board of Selectmen?
5.
No,
5.
they start at 5?
5.
Mm.
Meal at 5, and we start in earnest at 6.
Okay.
What's at 5?
Meal.
You got food?
Life is good.
No, 6 o'clock the meetings.
Who's catering?
Cafeteria.
You do a very good job by the high school cafeteria.
High school cafeteria.
No, we get involved with this
We
kind
don't
of
even
stuff.
get water.
You know, to me, we should have this information available, and somebody here
But I
is
think,
knowledgeable.
but I think if you have the questions, Peter, which obviously I have no argument with, I mean, I think somebody has to direct those questions that you have highlighted and the questions you have surrounding it to someone who's appropriate to answer those questions. I don't think that anybody here, and I don't even think if Doug was here, he isn't, I mean, he isn't the right
But I
in
think
this.
in reading this,
Yeah.
pay all on agreed portion, which means you could pay off the balance and/or whatever the agreed
You're
portion
giving us
is.
your interpretation, Mr. Mayor, and I
Right.
appreciate that, but that's not the
Well,
legal.
I understand.
Well,
You know,
is
you
Doug,
have to
is
understand
Doug,
what I thought, that's
Peter,
everything.
is,
So
you know,
you'll be here tomorrow?
everybody's on vacation, what have you. Is the person that wrote this going to be able to answer the questions that Peter has or anybody else has
Yeah,
at that meeting? I mean, it's not like he's doing this for
Yeah,
nothing.
no,
It-
no.
it's
And
a
I'm
good-
certain at this point that those questions have been proposed in other bond issues, and I'm certain they'll be able to give you an easy answer.
So we can table this
We could table this right
Right.
now
Have a meeting.
and have a meeting Thursday.
and continue it to the, what date is Thursday?
The 27th, however,
27th.
you're not gonna have a quorum.
I can't be here Thursday, and Tony's on vacation.
And Peter can't be here.
Can't be here Thursday?
I got a building committee meeting.
But, what time is that?
5 for dinner, 6.
6 it starts.
Oh, wow, you know, I mean, we wanted,
And it goes to
6.
about 10.
Do we have
we
enough
wouldn't
time?
want to invade his
You might last
dining.
on 7, right?
6 to 10.
Oh,
10
6
p.m.
to 10.
Do we wanna look?
Is that after cocktails?
How about the following
I
one?
was gonna say, do you wanna look into next week and see if we can get.
And we got a meeting Friday, too.
Is that catered also?
Meeting on Friday.
Friday?
Yeah.
It's good to have, especially when you have a budget that large.
Sorry, I'm on call.
I just, I'm not.
You know, I mean,
I'm uncomfortable.
Can we do it say next Monday?
Sure, we can do it next
What
Monday.
is that, Joe?
I mean, does that provide enough time?
Oh, yes.
All right,
I
so,
know.
so, you know,
then let's do it next Monday.
all right.
24
Yeah.
hours.
I can make next Monday, that we July 1st, right? Then, Seven
July
o'clock?
1st, what time?
7?
6:30?
I can make 6:30 be close.
All right, 7 o'clock.
All right.
And then invite bond counsel.
Yep.
Or somebody that I
Or
answered.
that can-
We got the questions we have, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Denise will have this call.
Yep.
Yeah.
Question having is all around.
Does
9,
that
right?
mean, Denise, I don't have to do the reading of the rest of that stuff?
No.
Okay.
All I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put this whole thing together.
I just wanna make sure I go through this one more time, make sure I don't have any other questions.
I don't know if it would be advantageous to have questions ahead of time emailed to you
Well,
that I can?
I mean, anything like this that are,
Okay.
that are technical questions, it would seem reasonable to get them first, not I got you, or whatever it may be at a later date. I don't know, I mean, you have to ask the question so someone can get a number.
I got one last question, maybe the mayor can answer this. Goes back on section number 9 where it said the Board of Selectmen and the WPCA are authorized to enter into an agreement. Is that, the Board of Selectmen be acting on behalf of the town? Do I take that right? Okay, with the WPCA? That's what it was, I just wanted clarification on that to make sure.
The majority of the question revolves around section 9.
I believe that the majority of questions resolve around.
Section 4 and Section 9.
Section 4,
Section
section
4
9.
and Section 4.
Right, I'll
Yeah.
email that to Joe, so he has,
Sure.
So we'll continue it to
We table.
Monday the 1st, the table.
I'll make a motion to table.
Is there a second? All those in favor? And we'll continue the meeting,
I'm sorry, I was lost.
I made the motion, she seconded it, table.
and we'll continue the meeting to the 1st at 7.
We get clarification on the line.
And then you're going to invite whoever it is you're going to invite. Anything else before the board that needs to be discussed?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second? All those in favor, say by saying aye?
Aye.
Thank you. Now we can roll the windows up.
Let us know.